Right, I just got back from taking the cam cover and I took the clutch cover off as well because the paint on that just was falling off. I think someone's attempted to paint it and it hasn't really worked. It's all flaked off. So anyway, but what I wanted to show you is whilst that's away, which is going to take 7 to 10 days, I wanted to just show you in proper light the radiator. And this amazed me because even though I've rinsed it, and I regularly rinse it, especially if I've just come from a wet ride or something like that, and just have a look at this. Hang on a second, I'll turn the camera around. Right, take a look at this. Oh, it's just amazing, absolutely incredible how this bike ever kept the cooling level that it did. Just unreal. And then if you look behind, I mean, look at all the crud on the top. The actual back of it obviously is not too bad, but that's where this is where the fan goes. But even so, down the bottom here, up here, look, that's just incredible. So what I'm going to do now is the trusty kitchen sink is about to be used because Beloved is not actually in. Yeah, so basically I'm going to just fill that up and lay it in there and let it soak for a bit and see what happens. Best I can do for the moment, it's obviously too big, but I just wanted to fill the sink up first and then just leave it to soak because it's got the pipes and everything on it, and I can twist it at an angle and get it further in, hopefully. Quite as I expected. But anyway, it's got to be better than it was after this because you can get at it better. There's so much stuff in it. Anyway, I have a cunning plan too. There was absolutely shed loads of shit on here, pardon the word, and also along here and at the bottom. I mean, that's not the greatest there still, but it looks worse than it is. But this will do another turn, I hope. I'll just keep an eye on it and see what happens. If I have to get another radiator, then there we go. But I'd like to think that I've broken the back of this and it should be okay. But yeah, an awful lot of dirt gets hidden inside these bits and along the top here, and it just gathers like a wodge there and a wodge there. And even though it's got this grid down it, the actual Venetian bit, it actually gathers at the top of the Venetian bit, so that's not really any help. And you can't put a fine mesh over the front of it because you're just going to be restricting the airflow. So it's kind of a bit of a vicious circle. Anyway, we'll get it washed off and it'll be ready to go back on the bike. You can see where it's blocked in here and here. And even with that guard on it, it doesn't make sense why it would do it. I'm very tempted not to put that on and extend the mudguard bit. You know, put the shield thing back on. Back on. Anyway, we'll have a think about that and see. But there you go. Something else BMW didn't think about. The fins are too fine, and where the water goes in the rain, but they're not to worry because they'll think, oh, somebody will buy another one. Not at 500 quid they won't. do everything they can not to. Anyway, we'll leave that over till tomorrow and see what happens. Right, so here we are, day one. Pause for thought. The thought is, where are we? We've now got the rad off. We've now got the cam cover off. We've now got the clutch cover off. And both of those have been away to be powder coated, and I won't get those back until a week's time. As regards the radiator, you've got to think to yourself, I was quoted £350 to do that, or to cure the oil leak. I was quoted £350 to cure the oil leak, plus the parts. So here we are then, we've got everything stripped, but we've now found that the radiator has got an issue. Although it cooled and it didn't overheat or anything like that, I mean, it's amazing how it never did, but it didn't. So we're at that situation now where the radiator is now in soak. Right, okay, so no water. Put this in. And then we're gonna, right, so there's radiators back in the box, there's no water, so we'll flush it through and then see how much more dirt we get in the box. Sun's coming out there, look. Got to give it a good rinse because that stuff is quite gloopy to cleaner. Still bubbling in it, so there's still stuff in it. The water's not coming back at me through the rad, so that obviously means it's clear. So I'm going to turn that over. And do it the other way. And I've straightened some of these fins best as I can anyway. Look at the colour of the water. Right, I just want to stand that up on this bit because I want to clean this bit. So look at the colour of the water. Definitely in that colour. Yeah, see, you can almost see through that. Okay, I think we're done. Right, I had to show you this. Look, this was clean water, and that was after that Mr. Muscle stuff had been in it. It's black, so it's done something. It's done some good, which is all right. I'm happy with that. Right, so this is what I'm talking about with all the grit. That's what you're dealing with, and that was after the cleaner went through it and the last wash. So inevitably that did do a good job, and there's probably still a lot more in there, but it's far better than it ever has been for a long time. But that, gentlemen, is what you're up against. So let me show you something now. We're looking up at the light, and you can now see all the way through the radiator. Which means it's pretty much clear. Even at the bottom of the worst bits, look, it's still fairly clear. And that is probably about as good as we're going to get it. But I'm pleased with that.